Hello there, welcome back here to the channel. Expanding Fronts 1.5.4 was out just a few days ago, November 24th. As of today now, RV's got it updated on Voobly, so you can play online on Voobly here. So you'll need the original EFE patch, Expanding Fronts data, and the EF assets, but you're also going to need extra assets now as well, so just an additional file. You'll find all these links in the description field, or if you're on the Discord, you can get here in the announcements for the area. Should be one on the Expanding Fronts, I believe, as well. So mod announcements. Yep. So yeah, you can play it online now. So I thought we'd do a bit of a patch breakdown, just see what's interesting, what's not, etc. Starting things off with a harbour, so new building added there for the I assume the trawlers to build out in the open. So the new harbour building is finally ready to debut in this new update, available from tech level 3 onwards. Utility trawlers can now construct harbours in the open seas to reduce travel time of trawlers and to protect your ships. The harbour is a resource depot that can be used to deposit your food and carbon from fish and the gas vents, and it also allows you to queue aqua harvesters when they're depleted. Additionally, you can garrison 10 ships inside for the protection of utility trawlers, frigates, and destroyers, so none of your cruisers or anything, because that would just be too OP. However, harbours are not equipped with laser turrets to fire, so you're basically just hiding in there so that you can get your units over there to, respond to the threat, clear them away, and then you can put your trawlers back out. So it adds a bit of permeance to you mining the seas for resources, like later in the game, when like fighters are out or there's lots of ships and stuff, so that you don't just completely lose all your trawlers. Because odds are when you lose your trawlers, you just don't rebuild them. You just go back, you just start farming and stuff. So create a bit of a culture where you're playing a bit more around the sea resources for longer, which I think is interesting and adds a bit more diversity to the gameplay. So with that, auto farming added as well, so you can now queue up your farms. Not in the same way, not where you're just like spending it all to queue the farms, but just turning this on so that when your workers finish the farm and see it's depleted, they'll rebuild it then and there. Um, Definitely makes me weaker. I'm quite good at building farms. This does annoy me. It's in Age of Empires, so they're kind of just making it like Age of Empires. It does annoy me at times because there's moments when I'm trying to build things and I find I've got no carbon because my workers are all rebuilding my farms at that point. When I need the thing now, so I end up turning it off in a rage and building the thing, and then I turn it back on later. But it's there for people that will really enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, you could play around it, I guess, and just have a more carbon-heavy economy to be able to. I don't know. Lilacs and Vorn Tigers and Bullerada, oh my, so looks like they've added loads and loads of new beasts to the game. So Pterodonarfs, Manthas, Dewbacks, Flimpicets, and Tuskats on almost every planet. Well, we've just added 100 more animals. All EF maps have been reworked to try and have as many lore-accurate fauna as possible to make planets feel like their own unique world. And in cases where planets had little to no lore regarding their fauna, they at least have a much more diverse set of animals than they previously did. So that's pretty cool. Make things just a little bit more interesting and less bland and repetitive. A bit more for your eyes to take in there. Performance and stability, so rework the alternative text round. This is like if you've got stuttering and your game's freezing and stuff. This is a good fix for that. I don't know if anyone's affected by this other than me, but that's been fixed. Improve the large text font option, which I think a lot of people like. With and without the text rendering enabled. Extended the AI string table from 2,500 to 25,000. That sounds good and relevant. I don't know what it means for AI scripting and stuff, but cool. Maybe they can do a lot more. Unsure. Just a bunch of bug fixes and that. It's nice to see. The game's still getting more and more stable, streamlined. Some bug fixes for actual gameplay. So first order anti-air destroyers were not being available in tech level 2, which is a change they made in EF, so you could make anti-air boats in T2. Heavy artillery's second projectile now explodes at the same place as the first. I never noticed that. Don't know anything about that. The HP upgrades are now affecting the foundations of shield generators and fortresses properly or respectively. The Wookiee fort bonus. Interesting. I don't know if didn't notice that. Fix certain projectiles not being affected by tracking computers. Oh dear. Naboo fighter and attacker and the Wookiee strike back were not affected by tracking. Wow. Would have never noticed that as well. Trawlers will now properly distribute themselves when tasked. I would notice that. That has annoyed me for a long, long time. You have to click them one at a time to go and rebuild the things or build the aqua harvesters and click them onto it and ugh. I think I would place them down and then click them all randomly to go and mine them. It's painful. Really slow you down. Fortress anti-air annex can no longer be converted by AI masters. Okay, the AI was stealing your fortress anti-air attack, I guess. Added select all harbours hotkey entries to go with the harbours. Farmers will now work centred on the farm rather than on the left side. Is that in Age of Empires too? Does that make them more efficient? I'm not sure. Change the wall foundation placement logic so that when you're placing walls with bends, 135-degree angle is used rather than a 91. So it's a bit how Age of Empires 2 were doing it there, and it removed the wall foundation auto extension, which annoyed the life out of me. I've spent so much time deleting the bits of walls that it would add, because it would complete it towards like tree lines and stuff. For people that like cheats, a few new cheats added there. My homenesses increases the pop limit to 1,000. Gift, and then I guess the number of the player you want to use, so like 1 for blue, 8 for orange, etc. Converts your selected units and buildings to the desired player. Okay. Let's get to work. Creates a worker at the viewed location. View must be over unobstructed land for the cheat to work. So I guess if you lose all your workers and you love a cheat, there you go. Graphics improvements. It's cool to see. Not really that interesting for us. Interface, databank, tech tree fixes and stuff. Not language things. Not really relevant. As I say, you can go and look at these if these are relevant to you, but not really for me. It's cool. They've added this sort of like water drift terrain, so it's like an ice terrain that ships can go through, which is cool. So you can see they're sort of carving their way through. Interesting. Balance and changes, things we do care about. So workers gain +2 damage versus mounties, so lead to a total damage of 2. So they're doing, I guess maybe what they're doing, an extra damage of 1. I don't know. It should add up though, because it's just too easy to get like an early mountie out, and then you've got 8 workers trying to bash it to death, and it takes forever, and that's so much lost mining time. This is kind of to deter that and make it a bit more. The idea being that it's up to both of you to be microing your units in that scenario. So the person with the mounted trooper should really be not letting you surround it with all your workers to bash it to death. And you shouldn't be chasing the mountie around when he starts moving it away with all your workers. You should be going straight back to work. So you both need to be paying attention in that scenario. And that adds just a little bit more equilibrium in that situation, because it's very easy to just leave your mountie there attacking the workers. Not paying attention to it and getting, like a big payoff. Recruits move a little bit faster. It was 10% or something, I don't know. 0.55 to 0.6. Jet troopers have had their damage reduced because they were just nuts. They were killing like artillery and boats, and not really units they're intended to be like smashing so hard. Not really the idea behind them. And they got like area of effect as well, which is nuts. Upgraded med droids. Healing boost now properly works. Apparently it didn't work. Okay. Evacuation protocols. That's the one that returns your carbon on lost buildings, I believe, for Rebel Alliance. That's 20% to 50% now. Trade Federation, their carbon malice, like their initial one, -25 to -50, just to slow them down from getting a troop center down and a mounted trooper. The sort of companion to these changes here. Confederacy, the destroyers gain 15% speed in tech level 3 and 30% in tech level 4, and they get access to redoubled efforts, which is I believe it's the resource cost reduction. Yeah. So yeah, they don't get advanced propulsion. That's only 15% speed though, so they should be naturally just like faster. And 20% less there, and their boats, they don't get frigate, don't cruise it. So the idea kind of really being that they're like anti-boats, like make your anti-air destroyers and your heavy destroyers, and like cancel other people's boats out. That's maybe the idea behind them. Sort of like a different sort of boat archetype to some of the other stuffs. Zann Consortium, big changes for the Zann Consortium here, because they're just so one-dimensional. Like they're meant to be like the mexive, but they weren't, because they didn't have all the health on their mechs, and like that really is a problem when it comes to the assault mechs and stuff. They lose a lot of HP there. The Night Sister Beastmasters and the Vornskers were complete joke units. They're just too squishy. As you'll see, like the Beastmaster has had its attack like really improved, so when you have like a big melee unit like that in a game like this, it doesn't do very well. Like from the get, it's almost fails on delivery there, because it's clunky and everything's practically ranged, and then you've got shields that double the health of the things that are range shooting at you. The pathfinding is such an issue, and lags and stuff. So them having such a low HP, they need to be really tanky, and they need to be kind of efficient when they're attacking. So we've done some big fixes to like their attack animations and such. HP's gone up quite substantially, 420 to 600. The melee damage has gone up as well. The speed gone up. The speed's almost like pretty much as important as a HP as well. It's almost, are you really fast or are you really tanky, you know? So they're getting a little bit of both worlds there, and they can't be converted now as well. So they should be quite a force to be reckoned with and really help Zann Consortium out there, have something else, some other differential for them. Because as I said, they're all about mechs really, and then artillery and stuff, but they didn't have the mechanics speed upgrade for that, so it kind of sucks. Just cheap mechs and artillery. So this is something nice to pour your resources into. And hopefully they prove effective. Maybe they'll be too effective. We don't know. Time will tell. The Vornsker, again, another unit that just like no one would ever make. I think that was mainly because they didn't know they existed, but I think if they did make them, they'd be sorely disappointed because the idea of them is that they're meant to be like an anti-Jedi like creature in the lore. But Jedi did like anti-beast damage, so they just slaughter them really. So they take anti-trooper damage, but they've removed the anti-beast damage that they take, and they've given them a lot of bonuses against like the Jedi classes and the bounty hunters here, because they're the same class, I think. So essentially plus 10 damage, I guess, per hit from the Vornsker on Masters, which should really add up because it's going to be like a cheap beast, you know, out of the nursery. First Order, heavy jet troopers damage reduced sort of across the board there. Like I think they fire like 3 projectiles or something like that, so that they've all been reduced down. And they seem to vary. It's like 12, 8, 8. And upgraded to 15, 10, 10. So it's 8, 8, 8, and then 10, 10, 10. So they made them even across the board there, and their cost has gone up a bit because they were cheap as chips, man. 60 food, 25 Nova, really cheap. They're pretty squishy in that, but yeah. Well down. Oh yeah, and the Flame Trooper, the armor reduced there as well because they were like 3v1ing Mounties. A lot of Mountie scenarios, it's like I send the Mountie to you, you send the Mountie to me. In those scenarios, the Flame Trooper guy is just gonna win, and they were super tanky against the workers as well. Quite strong, so that should sort them out a little bit, along with all the other changes up there. Imperial Remnant, Shadow Troopers have had their armor increased because they were pretty flimsy, to be honest. They're more sort of centered to being like a early T4 sort of spammy unit. I just don't think we're really holding up with our armor there, so a big increase, 5 to 8 should make them a lot more viable now. A lot more fun to pump your Nova into those early. It shouldn't require too much to get online, so it should be quite a fun way to play Imperial Remnant. Just go up to T4 and get the upgrades for these, maybe some speed upgrades, and just pump these out. And same idea as if you were racing to like Mounties or something. Just get on top of your opponents and kill power cores, things like that. New Republic, the V-Wing changed the missile explosion class from 52 to 20 to prevent military units counting issue. Mini-map and achievement screen. Okay, so not really any balance changes to the V-Wing. I think they suck. Don't know what to do about them though. I can't give you any answers on that, but I just think they're not very good. Kind of underwhelming in my eyes. They lose access to the cheaper boats and they get quicker boats. Personally, I think they could have just gotten none of this because they're already so diverse, but so they get a little bit of a consolation prize in losing their cheaper boats there. Black Sun Command Center tech discount now affects upgraded med droids. Hallelujah! I've been praying for this one. Don't know. It's good that they're fixing things. I've never noticed this in my life though. Units, Colossal Gladiator Droid Phase 1, Decimator Armor increased from 0 to 5. Colossal Gladiator Droid Phase 2, 120 to 150 HP. So they're getting a big buff there just to their tankiness, which I do think they sort of need. They got nerfed quite a lot at the start of EF, but as people get more used to the game and fleshed out, they've not been as strong there. Black Sun really is thought of as the most, like OP civ. Gain access to reinforced frame. What's that? Is that one of the research settings? Where's reinforced frame? I don't know what that is. This could take me days to find. What's reinforced spring? I can't search it. I can't search it. What is it? Ah, yes. Okay. HP for the artillery. I'm good with that. That helps. They're meant to be like artillery stuff. I think they had the range takeaway, so a bit more tankiness. Cool. New random maps. Okay, so Geonosis has been EF-icized. It's been revised here with the EF scripts and that. Hoth as well, fun map. So they're pretty much just going to have lore accurate animals, work well the EF scripts and all that. Much more balanced as well. Some fun maps. Naboo is not one we never really get to play these days, mainly because it was so imbalanced. Like people on the left hand side would get no carbon at all, and they would just, in general, not be very happy chappies about that. So big central lake. I don't know if this is like the original locale one, but we'll see. We'll give it a shot at some point. Yavin 4. It says it's going to be like the original Yucatan map from AoE 2. More lower accurate animals and that. So I imagine it's big meandering rivers with just a few crossings here and there and a lot of food. It's my idea of Yucatan. Bill Savis is like inner crater, sort of volcanic sort of area, you know, like surrounded by like ice and stuff, but this area is warm, like a hot spot where there's life. It's all concentrated in the center. So you can have your ore and your novas still spawning up with these carbon rocks on the outsides. But all your food's going to be concentrated in the center. Lake to fight over. Looks like a cool map. Similar to some of the other ones that there is. There's a few that spawn sort of in craters. And that with very close spawns, they tend to be as well, because a lot of the map on the outside is occupied. And this is like the only area you can spawn in. Great Hunt looks like Jort's map here. Center, pretty much just animals here. Should be in like no nerfs, very low lure. The idea being to get into the center of your food processor and eat up all these animals, hunt them all down in the center. Like the Great Plains bisons. Kind of push you towards doing trooper recruit early plays, maybe to fight over the resources in the center, put some early pressure, try and kill some workers and stuff like that. Be fun to see people playing it. Training Grounds is a static map, I believe. So everything is the same every time you load into it, so you can get used to it and streamline your builds and not worry about the randomness aspect of the game. Just so you can get things down, or you prefer playing like that. It's up to you. Some general fixes for maps: reduce the chance of herdable animals across all EF maps that have them down about 25%, so not affecting the extra food spawn. Update all EF maps with new animals. Planets now have lore accurate fauna where possible, and climate accurate fauna for planets. Yeah. Adjust the food amounts of huntable animals into tiers. I believe like the shack had like 400 food, but knock that down to 250. Huntable animals with greater food amounts spawn less abundantly in EF maps, while those with smaller food amounts spawn more so. So less big animals, more small animals, I believe. Resources should be far less likely to get trapped within or generate too close to tree clusters, so maybe done some improvements to their tree spawning scripts there. The Massive is now a lurable animal, so that's the one that normally on... It's this thing here, on Geonosis. It looks like it should be lured, but you have to move it with your scout. You can shoot your worker now and get to chase you. Adjusted some stats of existing animals to greatly diversify them. Sacred Place statue head staff no longer show a white dot like holocrons on the minimap, so that would annoy you. When you go and look and it's not a holocron, you're like, oh. Then 10 minutes later you do it again. Because you don't remember. And you're like, oh, where's the last holo? Updated random locale, land, space, terrain, shifting 1% chance to the last map. Tweak placement of predators for multiple maps. Okay. Moss Espa fixed a typo in the script that stopped the map from generating correctly on Tiny. Extra banthas now spawn more fairly on Hoth. Geonosis to Ores no longer spawn in random locations, favouring lucky players, but rather spawn one per player. Okay. Predator minimum spawn distance increased. This was annoying John, I think, since the first time we played Geonosis my map pack, when Stuart got like 5 Ores and we all got 1 each. That was weird. Mother load, extra banthas now spawn more fairly. Oh man, you know, I like the mother load random. You just tell your teammates go check the corners, but no more random spawns. Oh. Teammates will now always be connected, never cut off via a long stretch of carbon trees. That's so rare though, right? Chance of instant access to the center of the map reduced significantly. Ah, the god spawn. It's gonna be much more rarer now, and then when it happens, I'll see somebody not go fish. I'll be aggravated. Yavin 4 replaced the Misasai Temple buildings with non-selectable eye candy versions that can't be captured. That's, yeah, because that was annoying, just capturing those things. Increased width of pathing between the players, cool. Wraitha added a condition not to spawn the food storehouses, okay, cool. A lot of food on that map anyway. EF map changes the arena, adjusted the replacement of resources, lots of biomes and stuff being added. Things that really stick out to me from this is Comet. They removed the nerfs and dewbacks and increased the food stockpiles because that's a map that's really small. You spawn basically in space. The outside of the map's just space. Not much land on it. Really close spawns. And my advice to anyone there would be like grab all the dewbacks and nerfs as soon as possible. Like lure them quickly because someone's going to steal them. So it's just going to be increased food stockpiles at the start. Push people towards maybe the trooper recruit stuff. I don't think there's going to be nerf spawns at all, so no nurseries, no mounties. Hopefully more gameplay around trooper recruits and people walling and yeah. Less mounties ruining your day or ruining everyone's day. Because there's just like no distance to run them. They get there pretty much instantly. Cross added the planet biome, planet biomes. Some great sea fixes, increase the carbon generation, cases of players' resources not generating, reduce the sea size, yeah, because it was cutting into a lot of people's starting placement areas, I think. The sea was really, really big, and the stretch of land on the outside was really narrow. Hideout. Big fixes to Hideout. Hideout's had some problems, right? Lowered the chance of missing resources, somewhat lowered the chance of neighbouring bases crossing over one another. Resources same generation now. They spawn inside or outside the walls for all players. Generation made more stable. And some new planet. It's like a lot of planet biomes now for all the EF maps, which looks cool. Add a bit more variance. Michi reduced the amount of holocrons down to 5. That's a big change there. Don't know if that one needed it. It was more the Kordoku I thought that needed changes. Space Raiders is now playable, so they've added the Space Raider starting resource unit, which has fixed the problem where you wouldn't have the resources to make a command center. So you can do that now. Looks like a fun map to play. Twin Shores increased carbon generation by a little. Okay. 8 and 2 significantly increased the distance lava pools generate from player home. That's good. Just better starting spawns for people. Alzok changed the ice bridges to that water ice drift terrain, the one I showed earlier where the ships can go through it, which is cool. Barunda fixed issue with Sketos, not spot. Well, thanks, I guess. I wish you hadn't. Cairn removed nerfs and dewbacks and increased the food stock, so that's the same as Comet, basically. Roman cast, the rain is disabled if you load it via random land. I don't know if that was causing problems, people didn't like it. Swamp herd animals removed from Felucia. Okay. Yeah, they would spawn on the crossings and people would end up with like 30 nerfs. I was a beneficiary of this once and it was a very short game. High as land, changed the center ice lake to ice 6 terrain, cool. Caldera added new biomes, increased the available food, lowered the ocean predators because they've buffed the Sando aqua monsters, okay. Kordoku reduced the center holocron spawns to 8 instead of 5 times the player count. Oh dear. Fixed holocrons sometimes spawning on the corner ice patches. Ice patches should now reliably not allow for Nova processing centers instead of rarely allowing for one to be placed. I don't know if are you allowed to mine the Nova in the corners? I'm not sure how that reads. Obra Sky changed ice terrain, water ice drift, yeah. Starkiller base is the one with all the carbon in the corners, I believe, so improved the map playability by decreasing the distance to the carbon, so I'm assuming the carbon in the corners, creating fewer but larger tree clusters, so it's just a bit more consistency of you being able to have the carbon when you need it, so that you can migrate most of your eco to the corner areas. Sulon adjusted near command center farm spawn rule to prevent out of syncs, cool, is there out of syncs? Don't know about that. Polis Massa removed nerfs, increased food stockpiles, okay. Vargesso removed nerfs, increased food stockpiles, adjusted asteroid terrain generation. So, random land map, remove crate, good, thank you. New maps added. Locale, new maps added. Mixed, new maps added. Percentage distribution fixed in case of large maps. Special, crate added, okay, don't play random special, got it. Random Standard, added Vanilla, Geonosis, and Wraitha to the random selection with a low chance. Also adjusted some other random chances. New maps added, conflict restricted to small map sizes. Cool. Random Water, percentage distribution fixed in case of large maps. So some big fixes to, or some new features actually, random map scripting, I believe. Terrain style random maps now reference a single script of planetary biome constants. Random map scripters can now also randomly define their own maps with up to 41 different planets to use predefined terrains, animals, and objects that match the selected planet. So see the instructions in the README there, okay? Not really too relevant for us, but some people make maps, so appreciate that. Can have some variance to them with the biomes. Some AI fixes, not really. I'm sure I'll find out about these by playing it. I'm not going to go through them though. It's already long enough. Scenario editor again. It's not something. If you want to go and look at these, links in the description. Some bug fixes. This is a little hot fix they must have put after. So resistance team bonus to spaceport was apparently like 125% instead of 25%. So they fixed that. The Galactic Senate Hub missing attack modifier versus heavy aircraft. Oh dear. Okay. Rebel Alliance evacuation protocols providing incorrect carbon return after destruction of mech factory into the temple buildings. Now 90 carbon instead of 80 carbon. Fixed carbon gas vents being built on top of by the harbors, the aqua harvester sensor bios, etc. Mutant Rancor. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. That's really about it. There's my video on how to install things, which is not even relevant anymore because you need to get this now as well. So remember that, the extra assets. So as I said, all those links are in the description field. Same with the GBG Discord if you want to join in there. The Expanding Fronts Discord server, both invite links there. Yeah, people have fun playing this online on Voobly. You want to support the channel another way, PayPal link down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, take care. Bye bye.